So now that I have finished Master of All and the finale, I just wanted to provide a quick tier list of the characters that I used and that I deemed quite strong. I think after the finale things will change a lot, and I will also only really judge the characters based on how well they function up until this point. These are the characters that you have available until then, but the very first character that you get here is the Protagonist, and I think the Protagonist is an easy S tier, not only talking about like actual prowess in combat but also the skills they can learn, and they have some very good classes where you can learn some of the best skills in the game and master the best skills in the game. For example, Misty Shot from the Merchant or some of the Hunter abilities are very strong, and he's quite versatile because you can use him in every team, right? I think next guy would be Phenn, and Phenn is super strong in the early game. He's basically your provoke tank and also a damage dealer. He's not as evasive as Celsus is, but I think all in all he's better. He has a little bit of wind magic, he has bow attacks, and he can provoke enemies, which is quite nice. But actually I think kind of falls off quickly because like even Celsus is rivaling his tank capabilities, but he doesn't have much going on for him. But they're quite similar. They're both tanks. They both have a 3-hit attack as a skill for their main weapon. For Celsus it's the dagger, for Phenn it's the bow. So in total they're not much different. I do think, however, that Fenn's unlock masteries. Have a look at Phenn. He has the Vigorous Victor, which is a very nice mastery to have in the beginning, especially for Alexia, so she can recover her SP after every fight. And also he has Strength to Protect, which just increases his own physical damage when he gets hit, which is quite nice and something that Celsus just misses. So I all over think that he's better than Celsus in that regard. But when it comes to tanks, they're both just worse than Viator, because Victor is too mainstream. I do think that Viator is very strong. He is the incarnation of the retaliation and dodge tank that both of these kind of want to be, especially with his ultimate. He can dish out a lot of damage and can have like 9,000 damage with each of his counter attacks, and if he dodges 3 attacks, then well, that's 30,000 damage for you, even without breaking damage cap, because we are still before the finale, right? So next unit for the early game, Alexia is also an easy one. I would actually just put her together with the Scholar main Protagonist. I would put her in S tier because she is the first one that can actually reliably learn AoE spells and just clear a lot of trash mobs for grinding and leveling and just running through the world. Her incidental analysis will reveal some weaknesses, which is super useful in the early game. I'm slowly considering after finale to take her out, but there are not a lot of scholars. So it's really rough to find until I guess we get to get your hands on another scholar. Most characters that you get until this point are just physical. So yeah, I think Alexia is just stupidly good at the beginning, and you don't have alternatives really. Stia. I mean, Stia is your staple healer in the very beginning. She has a great ultimate that will fill up PP. She has donate PP, she has share SP. She's the only thing that she's really missing in comparison to Macy in the beginning is rest. You can teach her that later, but by that point she already fell behind a bit. So I would actually put her together with Phenn in B tier. Delitia. Delitia is a hunter that you get very early on. I'm still using her. She's a great character, but that doesn't really come from her kit. Because her kit is, except for a little bit of debuffs, nothing really interesting. She can switch to the back row, which might be nice, but she's also missing synergy for that. Unlike the Protagonist, who synergizes really well with being in the back row. And yeah, she has a 2-hit ice, she has a 2-hit arrow, and she has arguably the only skill that really makes her worth, which is Devastating Shot. It's an attack with which you can easily, if you crit enough, reach the damage cap quite early, and sometimes you will even one-shot elite bosses with it because they instantly die. And that's pretty good. Physical attack is great, her debuffs last longer, and when she's switching in from the back row, she actually increases the count of the debuffs, which all in all is actually a pretty good kit. But the one thing that makes her outstanding is her ultimate that will basically lower defense and attack for all enemies and raise defense and attack for a whole team. And it's not as versatile as something like Pius, but it's definitely for like physical teams, massive ultimate. I use it every battle. Great for me actually. Her kit is somewhat meh, but as soon as you can teach her meaningful powerful skills, she will be great. And I'm even willing to put her higher than this. Just because of, to be fair, Misty Shot. Every character that has a bow, as soon as you have mastered Misty Shot, is just valuable. And by the time you get to the finale, you should have mastered quite a few skills. So I think that still Delitia is an awesome character. Okay, Macy. So most people would absolutely shit on Macy, and I understand why. The only thing that she really has going for her is share SP. And to be fair, I didn't know in the beginning. I didn't try the merchant job for the protagonist, so I didn't had access to Misty Shot. But the existence of Misty Shot makes Macy actually pretty darn worthless, because the protagonist is so much better in topping up SP. I used Macy quite a bit in the beginning with rest and share SP to basically top up my Alexia, always with SP, and that worked. Share SP has one thing going for it, is that you can extend the maximum SP of a character. So if you have someone like Viator who has very little SP for me, I could prepare Viator to cast like 2 or 3 skills the next 3 turns because he has overfilled SP. So I used Macy actually a lot, but yeah, since Misty Shot exists, Macy is not very great. I think next one would be already Ludo, and I don't know, man. I used Ludo for a while, but actually the only thing that he has going for him is Crippling Thrust, which is a 3 times polearm attack. And I guess Fierce Rush could make him a damage dealer, even though his ultimate doesn't profit at all from that. His ultimate is weird anyway, because you don't profit from that, so you would have to break with that ultimate, and then the passive effect doesn't work at all. So yeah, like what he has going for him is that he can buff himself, his physical attack, and then he has quite okay damage, I would assume, with that, with a polearm. Other than that, he can increase the XP and leaves that you get at the end of the battle, but that's what makes him unique, kinda. And also the Fierce Rush. But yeah, like all over, Ludo is a good character, but I didn't find much use for him. Yeah, not a huge fan. So Primrose, unfortunately, since we are still pre-finale, you can make her work, but I don't think in a world where you can learn Peacock Strut and Lion Dance from the Traveler, that Primrose is actually worth it at the moment. I mean, she has good buff moves, right? And a little bit of dark damage, but that's not really what we're looking for. We have some dark damage already with Alexia, usually, and she doesn't do a lot. She gives SP generation on her ultimate. She recovers SP herself, so this is maybe a good mastery. But yeah, she should be best in buffing, but unfortunately her skills are not great for buffing. And I haven't found like AoE buffing spells yet until the finale. So for me, Primrose was just not usable. I'm pretty sure that she will get better going forward, but right now I don't see it. So Primrose is just a B for me. Tressa has the unfortunate thing going on that she doesn't really provide a lot that other merchants don't. She can collect, right? She has rest, which is good. Killer Strike can deal a lot of damage. Her ultimate can break up to 4 shields, which is nice, I guess. She will get extra leaves from battle. But yeah, all in all, it's just not very interesting. The whole set donate PP is nice, but you can even get that from Stia as a mastery, and so why? Unlike in Champions of the Continent, Tressa is just basically used to master SP saver, at least for me. So yeah, I mean, I could put her higher because she has actually an interesting ability, but the same thing holds true for Celsus, because Goad is just way better than Provoke. Pius is probably one of the best ultimates in the early game, because he will basically lower all the defenses of all enemies and increase all attacks from your own team, which is pretty strong. He is an AoE healer from the get-go and can master heal wounds, so that's amazing. Other than that, and back row support. Back row support is also a very good mastery, but that's kind of it. He doesn't provide a lot outside of that. His ultimate is nice, but it's just him being locked to one element basically requires a lot of action skills, and you want to have him in the back row anyway, which is weird for a damage dealer, but he just doesn't do much. Even though with a dancer skill he might be better, but I have to sort him in A, because he is a healer and he has a very strong ultimate. So The elephant in the room. Saoirse. Everyone is absolutely going nuts over her. And I also use her. So what she does, she's kind of a one-trick pony. She can grant HP regeneration to a whole row. When she does that, she will also generate their SP, which is quite nice. So you have a double regen for one row. But the main thing why everyone is going so nuts about her is because she has the back row dancer. And if she's in the back row, she will slightly fill the ultimate of the front row, which is arguably pretty strong because ultimates are very strong. And you can make her also an emergency healer, right? When you give her Pius's heal wounds, and you can also give her lion dance, so she acts as a buffer more, and then she basically covers all of your needs when it comes to dances. So yeah, I would say strong contender for one of the strongest characters in here. So we have left Laurana, Therion, Heidne, and Goodwin. Laurana, you get her quite late into the quest, I would say. And she definitely is a healer of all times. She has single target heal, she has HP regen. Other than that, she can restore her own SP, which is quite useful in the beginning, I assume. But basically, her whole deal is that she has the angel spell. So she can put a status on a character, and when they get defeated, they will be revived. And her ultimate does that for all of them. I think the harder the battles get, this might be one of the strongest ultimates in the game then, but up until now I never felt that I needed to be stronger or that something did so much damage that I need a full party revive. So it's kind of hard to place her somewhere, but I guess I will put her as the same as Pius, because it's like, yeah, okay, it's an AoE healer and has a cool ultimate, so they're kind of similar to me, even though Pius has the way more offensive ultimate and Laurana has a defensive. So right now, and in my state of the game, defense was not as important as offense was. So I will put her like high B tier instead. So we have Therion next. So Therion has only one thing going for him, actually. It's Snatch. I use Therion a whole lot because I just like Therion's design. But other than stealing, he has skills that do 2 dagger hits. His ultimate will also deal 2 dagger hits and give him 2 BP. Nothing too special in here. The incidental attack is not very meaningful, but can sometimes remove a shield when you're debuffing. That his enfeeblements are extended is quite nice because he serves mainly as a debuffer, really. But there are also other characters that can do that. And even Delitia can already extend debuffs and basically keep them online for an eternity. So what's really important for getting Therion is Snatch. So you will want to use him in the beginning for stealing, but as soon as you can master Snatch, it's not really necessary. My Therion is still there because he's a thief, he's fast, he debuffs all the enemies first turn, and then I buff my back row, and then the DPSs will just come and deal damage, and Therion won't do a lot. He will still sometimes snatch bosses if I don't steal with Aber, so the Protagonist's ultimate, which is just more comfortable as you don't need to use BP for that. That snatch alone, yeah, it's not even just his future impact that might be interesting. It's basically just he's a one-trick pony and it's just not good in any other meaning. So basically that puts him amongst the ranks of Celsus rather, even though Therion has maybe something going for him. But yeah, I don't think that he's stronger. Heidne. So I didn't try out Heidne too much, but I can say that she's a viable damage dealer. If you can give her an AoE attack, she's fine and very easy because she basically always comes with, as long as she's paired with the protagonist, right? She will always get an attack and E-attack buff, a constant one, which is quite nice for farming. So you can just kill enemies in the first turn. That's my strategy here. Like my protagonist is very fast. He will come first. I will switch rows, then just give them with Heidne. Due to that, I think she's actually quite strong. I would put her in A tier for farming. She is not quite as good as Delitia, the protagonist, or Alexia. But yeah, probably even better than Ludo, at least for early game. She has incidental steal, which could be quite nice, but on the other hand, you would also have to have Snatch, and sometimes it might just absolutely screw up what you do on a boss if she's attacking and then steals one copy of the thing you want 2 of. What I think is an incredible mastery is patience that will allow you to give a second turn, which for some supporters could be very huge. Like thinking of Sasha that has 2 turns and can heal both rows, for example, or yeah, very strong. And she, of course, like I mentioned, she has that thing going on that her attack is increased when she's partnered with the main character. Other than that, much like Celsus, like she has a Yeah, she has a 3-hit dagger attack, and that's kind of what she can. Inhibit offense is quite nice. It's a strong debuff, but only on one enemy, so for boss fights might be okay. Everything else, yeah. She has single target debuffs that are strong, but nothing game changing at this point because you might already have masteries that are better or can do the same thing. And Goodwin. Goodwin is a tough one for me to really understand. I tried to make him work with Viator, because he has the Song of Battle, right? So he will switch into the back row and bring the tank that is in the back row to the front. But that didn't work out very well for me yet. But he's also not built enough. The interesting thing that he is going for him is that there's a chance that his front row partner doesn't use any BP. And that could potentially be very, very strong. For example, with characters that you get later, like who also has BP recovery on break. Interesting mechanic, but I think that's his main thing. That's also the only thing that's really interesting. The ultimate is like a damage over time cast that at one stage will do 4 instances of lightning damage to all enemies over 2 turns. Yeah, it's not bad. I'm intrigued about the BP saving. I'm not sure though whether it's actually better than just actually refilling BP with donate BP or something. So, Goodwin I'm not really sure about yet. He's also, I think, hard to obtain before you do the finale, because the level is quite high of the stuff that you have to do, but I was kind of over-leveled. I do think that we are missing none other, except for, but doesn't count, because, yeah, I do think she's an awful character. She's just so much worse than. And I will probably put Goodwin. He is a dancer. Dancers have access to quite some cool moves, like buffing moves and health regeneration. He kind of tries to be a lightning mage, which I would actually put him in B. Yeah, okay. And so this is my tier list for the Octopath Traveler 0 characters, at least until you do the finale and get access to damage cap like other characters from Octopath 1 and stuff. But I will create a tier list about this as well as soon as I have unlocked and tested all of the characters. But for now, this is what I thought. If you're interested, I can prepare a more elaborated video about this and really show what I mean when I use certain combos. If you're interested about this, let me know in the comments. Do you have a completely different view? Does this align with what you think? I know that especially some people really like Ludo, and I wasn't getting too warm with him. And yeah, like and subscribe if you want to see my next tier list about Octopath, and see you soon.